Danny Healy-Rae.
Last Cloncola, I'm glad to get the opportunity here to highlight the needs of certain infrastructures in Kerry and people that have been left behind since Irish Water took charge of the water and sewerage schemes, much of the water and sewerage schemes in Kerry back in 2014. And I suppose, first of all, I'm glad that Lockatan treatment plant, the water treatment plant, which services all the ways back through Killarney and into Tralee, even the people in Tralee General Hospital, this is now operational, and we'll thank Deputy Minister Griffin for coming down for actually doing the opening ceremony yesterday. But that's one good story, but we have a lot of bad stories, Minister. And you see, since 2014 and since Irish Water took over the water services, you see, what they keep telling us is that they are responsible only for the maintenance and the upgrading of sewerage and water facilities that are already there. In other words, that are already half working or were there in some one way or another. But all the other places then that have no treatment plant, all the small villages, and the first one I'll think of is Kilcommon. It was promised a sewerage scheme back in 2004. In 2008, we actually got funding for it, and then it was taken away from us. And all that length of time, for 14 years now, the road is in a shockerang going up to the Kilcommon village. And I'm asking and appealing to you and to make sure that it is on the investment programme for next year, because the nursery home needs to expand, the road needs to be serviced or upgraded, and the people are all in that catchment area need a proper treatment plant to protect the Deanoch River and to protect the lakes of Killarney, first of all. Kinmare urgently needs an upgrade. Indeed, planning applications, an application was granted for 50 houses. The application was granted, but they were told they can't build one house until the treatment plant is extended or expanded. So many then group water schemes are ready to be taken in charge, and elderly people can no longer keep them going, but there's no way that Irish Water at the present time have the funding or say they are responsible for taking these group water schemes in charge. And old people can no longer keep them going. So I'm asking you, Minister, to look at this and to work with Irish Water and the local authority, all the local authorities, but especially the one in Kerry, where we have so many group water schemes waiting for to be taken in charge. The same we're asking for funding for to provide new group water schemes and to provide new water mains extensions, because we don't have funding for that. I'm asking for funding for group sewerage schemes, And then when we talk about extending a sewerage facility, the people of Castleisland have been waiting since 1986 to improve their treatment plant and to extend the sewerage services to the people of the Black Road, the people in the Tully Road, the Brosna Road, and the people in College Road. Over 120 houses are on septic tanks inside the town of Castleisland. The people of Scotland Lynn, they were number 3 on a priority list going back to about 2007 or 8. And both myself and former Deputy and Councillor Tom Fleming worked very hard in the Killarney electoral area to ensure that was going up the list, and we had it at number 3. Where is it now? It's not on any programme, it's not on any list, it's not in any plan. The people of Scotland Lynn are deserving of a treatment plant. And then we have the village of Corra back a few miles from that. You have a council housing estate, you have a shop, and you have a school, and you have all that a small village should have, and yet we have no treatment system, treatment plant there. What's happening is each week, week after week, the sewerage is being drawn into the town of Killarney, into the treatment plant. That's not on at all in this day and age, and they need to be put on a plan. The village of Beaufort, so many places, so many villages and communities can't expand or can't proceed without a treatment plant. And what I'm asking you, Minister, is to ensure that you work with Irish Water. Now, there's so many people who have free water, and they're free sewage, and they're free everything. But the people in rural areas are entitled to these services much as well as the people in Dublin 4 and the urban areas. And I'm appealing to you to address this anomaly, because the people are entitled. They are paying their taxes and they're paying their property tax. The people of Glenflesk, Corns, Croman, Tohan, Castle Cove, Cardanel, Bulteens, Ballyfinnan, Asti, Timplenoe, Knockanoor, all the different places, they are entitled to treatment plants. They're being left behind. And not alone are they being left behind for sewage treatment facilities. Many of them can't get funding for group water schemes, and everyone is entitled, as we know, to clear, safe, and plentiful water supply. So we need to address this issue now, Minister. There needs to be a plan and work with the local authorities. These communities can't be left behind the way they are. And I remember when Deputy O'Dowd went down to Tralee, when he was announcing the takeover of Irish Water, I remember one thing that I said to him specifically myself. He's setting up Irish Water, and we'd much prefer it if it was left under the regime that we had, under the local authority. But seeing as he did, I asked you one question, Deputy Dowd, to ensure that the provision of water would be kept under the thumb of what you at the time, or whatever minister came after you. But you see, there's a split and there's a divide now. One set of group of people are being seen after, but the others are not. The people in the rural areas, the people in the rural villages, the rural towns, they're being left behind. And you see, Irish Water are clearly saying they're responsible for the maintenance and to ensure that the treatment plants and that the water reservoirs that they have at present, that they're maintained to a high standard. But they're not responsible for providing any new services. So that's the anomaly that needs to be addressed. And if we went back to 2008, I remember our excellent Director of Finance at the time, John O'Connor, came into the councillors and made the case that levies would have to be charged to new planning applicants for the provision of sewerage and water. And the levies that were put in place at the time were exorbitant. But the reason he gave at that time was that places that wouldn't have a proper treatment facility, that in each area that the council would be fined 500,000 each year until these treatment plants were brought up to scratch. So there we are now 10 years later. The people of Kilcummin don't have a treatment plant or have a road either, because the road won't be resurfaced until the treatment plant is put in place. And if the road was done in 2004, when the need for the treatment plant arose, it would have to be done now again. So imagine what the people of Kilcummin have suffered for the last 14 or 15 years. The road is terrible. It's like the bed of a river, Minister, and I'm appealing to you, and I'm asking you to ensure that funding is provided, whether it's to Irish Water, to the local authority, to ensure that the funding is made available for the Kilcummin sewerage scheme in the coming year, as it's one of the most pressing things. And again, I say about all the other small places, rural villages, That's why they're dying, Minister, because they won't get planning, or they won't qualify for planning when they don't have the facilities that everywhere, that most other urban areas have. They are entitled to the very same, Minister.
Thank you, Deputy. Minister.